You've come to the right place today if this is where you're looking to get your palms read. I am Dr. Palm. I have years of experience of learning how to read your palm and letting you know what all the lines stand for, what they mean, and what is to come. So, in order for us to begin this, I'm going to need you to sit down and make yourself comfortable. Yeah, the chair right there is perfect. The bed, whatever you can sit down on and make yourself comfortable. The next thing is I need you to just take a few deep breaths in, and we're going to calm our mind. So a deep breath in, and then let it out. Let it flow off your shoulders, exactly just like that. Another breath in. Hold it, and then let it out. Off those shoulders, let it flow off the left and the right. Okay. And the last breath in. Hold it, and then let it out. Left, right. Great. Now, did you want to use your left hand or your right hand? Okay, you can decide whichever one it is. I just want you to make sure that I'm going to be feeling it. I'm going to be touching it. I'm going to be reading all the lines on your hand. So whichever one you decide is the one to pick, place that down just in front of me right here. Okay, you've chosen that hand, all right. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to just clean off your hand so that I can make sure that the lines on your hand are as legible so I can give you the most accurate information based on the lines on your hand, okay? All right. So, if you just keep your hand there, I'm just going to give it a quick little clean now, okay? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I don't think you will have any, but if you do, I'm right here. It's a big process to make sure that your hand is as clean as it can be, to make sure that I give the most accurate reading on your hand. I'm just gonna have a look at it and see how we're doing with it, okay? Your hand was already moderately clean, but making sure that I get all those little dirt and imperfections off before I start. Okay, your hand is nice and clean now. Now, before we begin, I need to make sure that I have my glasses on so I have the best eye vision when reading your palm. So, we'll just put these on. There we go, I can see you much better now, and I can see your palms way better now. I've got my light. This light is just to follow along for myself to make sure that I'm looking at the correct line when reading your palms, okay? Okay, so the first line we're gonna do is this line right here. That line right there. That is called your heart line. And what this heart line does, that line right there, it represents the emotions that you have on that line. Love and relationships. So the first one that I'm going to look at is the love that I see in your life, both now and in the future coming, okay? Okay, so this line here, that one right there, that's just above your thumb. Do you see that line? Okay, great. That line there is the one that represents love, and in your life currently, right now, I see that you fancy someone. Whether they know it or not, you do have an emotional connection towards someone at this moment. It shows the length of that love line has been for some time now. Now, whether or not that person knows it or not, that's for you to let them know. But like I said, that line right there represents love, and you do have someone in your life that you love, and it also reciprocates back. Somebody loves you. Whether you know it or not, somebody also loves you. The next line that goes perpendicular to that line, just under your thumb, that one right there, represents emotions. That line is quite long, which represents that you might have had some emotional things happen in your life, both happy and sad. But this line, like I said, it represents both good and bad. Right now, whatever you're feeling is what is meant to be felt. That line is long, and it just shows that you've had a lot of emotional things happen in your life, both happy and sad. And the last line that crosses through them, right there, do you see that one? Where we were just throwing on your thumb, right there, that line there, it's the one that just goes across like that, right there. That's the line right there. That one represents relationships. Whether you've had them or not in your lifetime, this line is always a constant line. It's always the same length on every person, because at some point in your life you will have a relationship, whether that's with a human, an animal, it could be anything, but it could be a relationship of love. It could be a relationship of friendship as well. So like I said, that line that you're seeing right there, that one right there on your hand is constant, because a friendship, a relationship, love is constant. Therefore, it stays the same length. Now, the next one is called the headline. The headline is found just above your middle finger, right there. Do you see the one that I'm talking to about? Yeah, so that line there, like I said, it indicates intellect. The one just beside it, this line right here, that's just beside it horizontally, is mental state. And then the one on this side right here, that one right there, that indicates your communication abilities. So we're going to talk about the first one in the center, right there of your middle finger. And like I said, that represents intellect. So looking at that line there, it's quite a large circle, which indicates your intellect is high. You may not know it, but other people can see it. The way that you speak, the way that you present yourself gives a ambiance of high intellect. And a lot of people recognize that. You yourself might even recognize it on that spot right there. So the next time you're out, you're walking, you're around people, know that your intellect is quite high, and other people can feel it. Now the one that we just went to beside that, underneath your ring finger, if that's the correct hand that you put down, it would be your ring finger. If not, it would just be your other finger beside your middle finger, beside your pinky. That one is your mental state. That one right there, I'm just pointing to it with the light. That one represents your mental state. Now, whether or not your mental status is good or negative right now, that is not what the point of this is. It is just to bring to the forefront of your mental status. We're not here to talk about whether it's positive or negative in regards to it. Just embracing it and acting and knowing that right there on that spot on your hand is the mental status, and you are aware of it. you choose to deal with it is out of my control as a palm reader. It's in here that you decide how to deal with your mental status. But just given, if I was to have a hunch, just given on what it looks like, you're in the right direction. So keep on going. Exactly. Now, the last one, like I said, just here underneath your pointer finger, that one is your communication abilities. Now that ties in together with all of your mental status and your intellect. All three of those lines together right there indicate well-being overall, dependent on your communication abilities. If you are able to communicate how you feel through your mental status and also indicate how you are as a person with your intellect, your communication abilities will be really high and people will understand you more. So keep on going with your communication. It is the forefront of what makes us as humans who we are. So you're doing a great job. Now, this next line, it follows all the way down your palm here, right down to the center of your wrist. That line, yes, that one right there. That is your lifeline, And dependent on how old you are, that line will either be quite long or quite short. Now, the lifeline represents many things. That line there that I'm talking about, it indicates your vitality. The one right there. Did you find it? Okay, yeah. Vitality, your physical health, and your general well-being. So the first one is your vitality. Now that is dependent on your age. Looking at yours, I can see that it's, 3/4 of the way through your palm, which means, you could be middle-aged, but you've not hit the halfway point in your life at all yet. You still have a lot of vibrance to give, and that's depicted on that line right there. So keep on living and enjoying life for that part. Exactly. Yes, you are doing great. Now, as it continues down, the width of that line is dependent on your physical health. And that's in the present, in the now of how you, as you here, feel. How is your physical health? I can't see internally into you, but based on what I'm looking at on this line, it's a width. It's got some width, which shows your physical health is strong. If it was quite narrow, which it definitely is not on that section, it's a wide line, which means your health is in peak performance. You are doing well. And if you don't believe me, it's indicated right there on that line that I'm looking at. And then the last one, your general well-being. This ties into those other two statuses that we were talking about with your other lines on your hand before. Your general overall well-being with your mental status. Your physical health ties together to create general well-being. That's in your mind and body and soul. And based on that, I can see that it doesn't taper, it doesn't wind, it's a straight line down, heading towards your wrist, just like that, heading down towards the wrist area, towards the bottom of your palm. And that is an indication that your general well-being overall is very good. And if you don't believe me, like I said, again, you can just look at that line on your hand. I'm looking at it right here. That right there is looking well. It's looking well. So far, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing here based on the readings from your palm. Now, these last ones, a fate line, that's F-A-T-E, your fate. What will This is a line that can sometimes be a little tricky in regards to what presents on a palm. That fate line, it follows along horizontally on your palm from the left side to the right side, and based on its curvature and based on its width and its depth on how far it goes into your palm indicates your fate. If it's barely visible, if it's not there at all, unfortunately, that does mean that time may be running out for you. But from what I'm seeing on your palm right here, that line is going side to side, and it's deep. That means you have a lot of time left before you close that door. There's a lot of time to go, so do not squander that time. Looking at that line right there, that line from side to side there is long. You have still a lot of life, and it's deep. Your fate has not been made yet. It has not even been written yet. Therefore, I encourage you to do as many things as you can before that line becomes more faint and less deep. Okay? But based on what I'm seeing here right now, it's looking very well. Now, there are other parts of palm reading based on the amounts of Jupiter, Saturn, Apollo, other planets out there that can make you align with each individual planet. You know, they base it on leadership, your discipline, creativity, and communication. And based on what I'm seeing overall for what we've gone through, based overall on your entire palm hand here, Jupiter is what comes to mind. Jupiter is a large planet. It holds power, which is what your palm is telling me. It holds discipline of being able to contain all those moons around it with that ring. It has communication. It speaks to people with its vastly large size. And based on your palm, you embody all of those things. Your discipline to hold those moons together, to hold your life together with what's going on right now in the world. Your communication standards, letting people know how you think based on what I'm seeing, exemplifies Jupiter as to what you are. Moving on to the overall palm shape. That is the entire shape of your palm from all around, moving up into our fingers and where those lines go. Right? Yes. So based on what these suggest your personality traits based on you and the tendencies that follow that. Your personality traits could be that you like to go to the movies. People find you a good person. There are so many traits that can create a personality. And based on what I'm seeing here on the entirety of your palm moving up those fingers, like I've said, you are a good person. Your personality traits show that you are happy. They show that you care about others and that you make time for them. That's a hard thing to do in today's times, but this palm right here, your palm right there, shows that you are a kind-hearted person and you go the extra distance to make sure that they are taken care of. There are some drawbacks though to that side. Unfortunately, sometimes it just means that while you wear your heart on your sleeve, sometimes the heart can be hit by others' cruel words. But based on the tendencies of your personality, you deflect them. They do not stick to you. Your emotional control, based on all the other things that we've spoken about, make you a person who cares for others and can receive love when you need it, but when hurtful words happen, you are able to deal with it. And then overall, the last thing is the texture of your palm. How does it feel Is it rough, smooth? Do the lines create this sandpaper-like texture, or do the lines create a smooth look around your hand? Now, based on what I'm seeing here, the texture of the palm gives additional insights to what we're seeing. A roughness, as I'm looking here, I don't see a lot of roughness, but it indicates that you have a hard working nature. And if it's smooth, if we have smooth, that indicates ease and luxury. I can see on the edges of your palm, roughness, which indicates the hard working nature of who you are. But alternatively, on the inside, the smoothness that I can see ease and luxury. Good thing for you, though, is that we start our life on the outside of our palm. The outside, which indicates roughness, and I can see that based on your palm, it is a little rough. But as we move in towards the center of your palm, it's becoming smooth, which shows life is going to ease up. Life is going to ease up and become luxurious for you. Luxurious doesn't have to mean money. Luxury can come in so many shapes and forms. So what that luxury is, I cannot tell you, but it shows luxury and easement in your life as you continue. And that's based on the decisions that you make today when you leave this palm reading session. I'm just here to tell you what I see. You can always open and close a door based on the daily decisions that you're making. But with your palm here, with what I saw on the entirety of your palm, things are going to get better and keep getting better. That's all the time we have for today on the palm reading. If you enjoyed this palm reading session, your friends may be able to enjoy this as well. They may be able to get some insights out of this. So by all means, let them know about this palm reading session, and I would love to read their palms. So point them towards this session, and I'll be able to let them know what fate is calling for them. But for you coming into this session today, I thank you, and I say good day, and you're gonna have a wonderful life. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day.